Okay, thanks, Mike. Tonight, a KRCA News Channel 7 special report. We've been keeping our eyes on government salaries in the North State, and in the process, we found a very interesting revelation in the city of Chico. It had to do with their top two income earners in 2010. Now, they were only contracted to make about $97,000 that year, but both ended up pulling in more than the city manager, the city attorney, and their own boss.
Who do you think is the highest paid city employee in Chico, and how much do you think they made?
The mayor of Chico, maybe? $75,000.
$75,000.
Chico State freshman Emily Jenkins did not see this coming.
Wow.
Chico's two highest paid employees in 2010 were fire captains. The top earner was David Main. He earned more than $234,000.
Wow. That's more than a nurse makes. That's what I want to be.
Maine's colleague, Captain John Probst, was second at more than $200,000. While the figures are eye-popping, consider this. Since 2006, these were their contracted salaries. Now look at how much both pulled in. The way they did it? Overtime. Look right here. In 2010, David Main worked 2,912 regular hours. And then have a look at the overtime. 2,366 hours.
I know that if I stood back and looked at it from a member of the public, I would be concerned, and I would be surprised that a subordinate employee to a fire chief or police chief could make less salary than someone that works for them. However, I understand the dynamics of what overtime causes in both police and fire, so I understand how that mechanism causes that to happen.
Teresa Campbell is the Risk Management Director for Chico's Human Resources Department. Part of her responsibilities are dealing with public safety employee contracts. She told me while it sounds outrageous, the city is doing business in the most cost-efficient way.
The benefits are quite expensive in public safety. For every dollar spent on salary, it ranges from anywhere to 60 to 70% in benefits. So when you add those two together for a full-time equivalent or a full-time employee, it is less expensive to do the overtime. I know it's a lot of money. I know they do a difficult job, and I know just in comparisons when you look at a city manager who runs an organization of almost 400 employees that it does seem out of balance. But at this point in time, I don't see that the city would make any changes in backing off overtime and hiring new people. It's too unpredictable at this point where the economy will take us.
And while firefighters are some of the highest city-paid employees in Chico, they are doing their part to cut down on costs. Just have a look at fire station number 5 right behind me. It's closed.
That's why we're here. Everything else we do, I look at as value added.
Jim BEERY is Chico's fire chief. And he says while the salaries sound high, they're doing more with less. Since he joined the department in 2006, Chico Fire has reduced their force from 22 fighters to 18. And in that time, call volume has jumped from 9,000 to about 13,000 calls. BEERY also says his workers aren't on an everyday worker schedule. Folks like you and me, our overtime kicks in for anything past 40 hours per week. But firefighters' overtime doesn't kick in until the 54th hour.
I'm fairly confident you go down to Sacramento, San Francisco, LA County, San Diego, you're going to find firefighters at the top. But again, it's because we are this standing army, so to speak, that deals with threats, things that are threatening our community.
Folks we spoke with agreed.
If it's necessary to have them on duty because they're short-staffed, certainly. I'm glad to have them there.
You know, they spend a lot of their time away from their families, and so they're actually, working really hard for that. So I think that what they do for our community is very valuable, and so I'm okay with that because I'm not working those hours.
And you're not having to jump in a burning building.
I'm not standing in line to do so either.
Now, I also checked the figures for 2011. David Main earned a little bit less, $190,000, and John Probst earned about $87,000, and that's because he went into retirement. Now, we got those figures from State Controller John Chung. We have a link on our website for them, krcrtv.com, if you'd like to check them out. And keep in mind, too, there aren't just 3 fire captains in Chico. 15, listen to this, 15 of the top 25 paid employees in the city of Chico, all fire captains, and the lowest salary was about $140,000. Well,